Hi friends, welcome to Cloud Pandit in this Azure Data Factory Master Program video series. In today's session, we will see how to create the Azure Blob storage and how to create the folders in it, how to upload the data. So all those things we will quickly see. So the prerequisite, right? So in order to create the Blob storage, we should know few things before we get create the Azure Blob storage. First thing is subscription, as we discussed. So Azure subscription is an agreement with Microsoft that grants access to their all cloud services that they are providing. So it allows the access to all their services, and this particular subscription will be tightly coupled with this particular billing account. So what is the use of that? So basically whatever services you are accessing in the portal, whatever pipelines that you are running, based on the resources usage, the cost, whatever charges are applicable, all those charges will be deducted from this particular subscription. So that's why subscription is something very important in order to create any service in the Azure. The second prerequisite in order to create any resource or any service in the Azure is resource group. Azure Resource Group is a logical container that helps organize and manage related Azure resources together. For example, in real time, we create the one resource group for the development environment, one resource group for the UAT, one resource group for the production. So if we discuss in detail what is this dev, pre-prod or UAT environment and production environment, let's say when the WhatsApp is released to the public, right, to the end users like us, what features we have? We have only chatting. Later they added audio functionality. Later they have added video functionality. Later they added conference calls and all. Now how they are improving is basically, let's say first initial version they will develop it in the initial server. If everything is working, same code they will deploy into the another computer. They are also they will test it. If this that is also working, then they will put it in the third server, that is called a production server. From there end users will access and they will chat with their friends or family, etc. Later, if they want to create the any audio functionality, audio call or video call, they take the existing code. On top of that, the audio call functionality, they will add it in the dev server. They'll test it, both test and chatting and audio call. If both are working, then they will copy same code into the another server, that is called UAT, I'm saying, right, or pre-prod. There also they will test it. If it is working, then they will move it into the final server, from there end users will access those particular functionalities. That's how we have in any software development you take, not only data engineering or web application development, we have minimum 3 environments, or we can have more than 3 also, we can have 4 and etc. So for each of these environment, we will create one resource group to maintain the resources. Okay, these are for development environment, these are for the UAT, these are for production. Production is something very crucial. So which are basically that particular code is running in the production. So if at all any change happens, something goes wrong, all the end users, your business will be impacted. So that's why production access will be limited, but dev and UAT, we will give it to the multiple people. That's how you have multiple environment. For each environment, we will create one resource group. Third one is blob storage name. Remember, the blob storage name should contains only letters and numbers, and it is a globally unique, meaning if somebody else has taken some name for the blob storage, same name you cannot use. The blob storage name should be between the 3 to 24 characters. It should not be a more than 24, or it should not be less than 3. And blob name must contains only letters and numbers. There is no special characters or allowed. And name should starts and ends with the alphanumeric characters, meaning you can start the name with numbers or letters, no issues. Okay. Finally, the region, location, where exactly your data, whatever data you are uploading in this particular storage account, where exactly it should be resides. The physical location, it should be stored somewhere, right? When you say cloud, data centers will be there in the different location. You will access those data center, the physical storages, through the network. So similarly, we have a lot of data centers for the Microsoft. So whatever data center, in which data center you want to store your data, you are going to choose that particular region. Generally, suggestible region to choose is based on your business. If your business uses in India, then you create your storage account in India. If your business users in US, then you create your storage account in US. Okay, that's how you need to select your region. Okay, now let's see how to create this particular blob storage. Okay, first you open your Chrome. So I'm just opening the Chrome. Click on the Chrome. Okay, so when I click on the Chrome, it came here. Now I just have to click here portal.azure.com. Okay, now select the Azure account. Okay, whatever Azure account I create, I just selected. I am here. The easiest way to select or find any services on top search. Okay, here you can simply search for storage accounts. If you want to create a blob storage, you need to create the storage account. Click on storage accounts, then click create the storage account. Okay, click create storage account because I want to create a new storage. Here, as we discussed, the subscription I am giving, and resource group, I want to create my own resource group. So click create Cloud Pandit -RG. Okay, it is saying it is already existed. Then I can say Cloud Pandit RG2. Okay, or Cloud Pandit -dev-RG. You can say development resource group. Under the dev resource group, I can give Cloud Pandit dev blob. Okay, dev blob 1, something like that. As I mentioned, it can be alphanumeric. You can have the characters and numbers, and it can also start with the number. You see, it won't throw any error even if it's starting with the numbers. Okay, next, for example, if I am giving any iPhones or something, it will immediately throw error, says that the length should be 3 to 24 characters and it should have only lower letters and numbers. Clear? So that's how it will not allow any special character. Region, in which location you want. So whatever data center you want to choose, you can able to choose. Okay, I'm choosing east to west. You can choose the whatever region which is near to your business users. Then performance, right? Standard is basically recommended for most of the scenarios, which means that so normal for all the scenarios where you just wanted to store your data for long time, you are not accessing frequently. In normal all use cases, you can go for standard, but you have a requirement where you need to access the data which is there in the blob storage very quickly in most of the use cases. For low latency, then you need to go for the premium. Premium is basically costly than the standard. Okay, that's why for now I'm going for the standard. Next, redundancy, how the data will be copied, as I discussed in the previous session. So each and everything in detail I have shown you. Local redundancy means within the server, 3 copies will be stored. Zone redundancy means within the 2 different servers, within each server, three copies will be stored. Geo redundancy means in 2 different data centers in India and US data center, 3 copies in India data center or 3 copies in US data center will be copied. Geo zone means within the same data center in 2 servers, three copies will be maintained. Along with that, in the other country also 3 copies will be maintained. With the diagrams, everything I have explained in detail with respect to the redundancy. You can go and watch my previous session to understand in detail about the redundancy. Okay, then just click review plus create. So it is going to validate all the required details, all prerequisite which is mandatorily required in order to create storage account we have given. That's why it is not throwing any error in the validation. It is enabling the create button. Just click create to create the storage account. So it takes less than a minute to create the blob storage. We can just wait until it is created. Now, as I mentioned, within the minute it will create, it is deployment is completed. If you see, just click go to resource. This is the overview tab where you can able to see the, okay, under which subscription, okay, so in which location, and see secondary location west US, primary location east US, meaning so in east US is gone because of some disaster or something. You will have the west US for your secondary region for getting the redundancy data, the copied data, backup data. Okay, Next, so performance standard, replications, so you can see geo redundant storage, account kind, okay, storage v2, status is succeeded, all those things. Now left side come down, you see there is a something called containers. If you click on containers, okay, click on container in order to create the container. Okay, so I'll say global. Okay, I said global is the basically container name. What is the name? So I'm repeating this particular step. Once you click on the container, you click on the container plus container option to create a new folder. Container is nothing but just a folder. I am creating global folder. Click create. Under global folder, go inside this global folder. Let's say if I want to upload the data, just click on the upload. Okay, you can choose the file that you want to upload. Okay, let's say I want to go for cloud pandit data sets. Okay, so comma, I'm going for some credit.csv. Okay, so this particular file, before you click upload, if you go to advanced, you see something called blob types. So this is what I'm going to discuss in the next session. What is the blob, what is page blob, what is append blob, when to go for what type of blob, we will see. Blob is, remember, it is mainly used for the unstructured data, large volume of unstructured data such as audio, video, any documents, right? If you want to upload, you can go for blob. Page blob, if you want to upload some data, you want to keep updating that data, you want to read and write data continuously, you can go for the page blob. Append blob is basically used for adding the application logs and all. If you want to add, you can go for the append blob. Append blob is always for adding purpose. Instead of overwrite, every time you want to keep adding something to the end of the blob, you can go for the append blob. We will discuss all those things in detail in the next session. Okay, what is the block size? Each block size is 4 MB. So each blob size can be a 5 terabytes. Maximum one file size could be a 5 terabytes. Okay, maximum single file should be 5 terabytes. Here you can see upload.vhd. What VHD? Virtual hard disk files. If we have those things, are recommended to upload under a page blob, not under block blob, but this is general CSV file. So what you can do, you can upload under a block blob. That is a recommended approach. Now just click upload to upload the file. Okay, so why I am explaining this particular lab? Because this particular lab is important in order to understand the Azure Data Factory, how Azure Data Factory will connect to this blob storage, how it will read and write. To understand all those things, you need to understand how to create a blob, how to create a containers, how to upload the data into this particular container. Okay, so I hope you understood till here. Let's quickly discuss some of the questions based on whatever we have discussed till here. So let's quickly discuss summary questions. Okay, what is the requirement for naming an Azure blob storage? Use of special characters like underscores, length between 5 and 30 characters, exclusive use of capital letters, starts and ends with the alphanumeric characters. As you know, I have shown you, you can start and or end your blob storage name with the alphabets or numeric characters. Anything is allowed. The answer is D. What characters are allowed in an Azure blob storage name? Letters, numbers, underscore and special characters, letters, numbers, letter numbers, ampersands, letter numbers plus signs. So the answer B, as you know, letters and numbers only allowed for the blob storage name. Which of the following blob storage name is not allowed according to the naming rules? My Azure storage, storage 123, my storage, Azure storage. So which is not allowed? C, because which is having the which is not allowed. Okay, next. What is the purpose of Azure Resource Group? So as we discussed in earlier, so it provides access to support, grants, administer privilege user. It is a logical container for organizing and managing the related Azure resources. As you know, the answer is C. It is a logical container for organizing, managing the. Sorry, you can put your questions in the comment section. I'll take up all your questions. I'll try to answer all of your questions. If you are facing any errors while creating the Azure Blob storage, feel free to reach me or ping me in the comment section so that I'll